Senator Ping Lacson as well as Senator Pacquiao, who has urged us to view also and show a video clip. So, Secretary, if you will, Attorney Dana Albert, please recognize our different resource persons led by the Secretary himself. Thank you.
Good morning. The Senate Committee on Finance, Subcommittee I would like to acknowledge the presence of our distinguished guests, namely Secretary Rolando Joselito Di Bautista, Assistant Secretary Glenda D. Relova, Director Wayne C. Belizar, Director Gemma Gabuya, Director Janet Armas, Director Clifford Cyril Rivera, Director Wilma D. Naviamos, Executive Director Tricia Oco, Executive Director Bernadette Abejo, Executive Director Emerito Rojas, Chairman Alvin Feliciano, Secretary Noel Felonco, Chairperson Allen Capuyan, Undersecretary Danilo G. Pamonag, Undersecretary Jose Ernesto Gaviola, Undersecretary Felicissimo Budiongan, Undersecretary Rene Glenn Paje, Undersecretary Luis Viminda C. Ilagan, Assistant Secretary J. T. Hamolod, Assistant Secretary Noel Macalalad, Assistant Secretary Jocelyn P. Niwane, Assistant Secretary Rhea B. Peñaflor, Attorney Georgia Ruby B. Gascon, Director Ferdinand L. D. Budeng, Director Leonardo C. Reynoso, Director Paul Anthony Tacorda, OIC Director Karina Agudo, OIC Director Katrina Grace Ongoko, OIC Assistant Bureau Director Hannah A. Giray Carcito, and the DSWD Regional Directors, Ms. Marie Angela S. Gopalan, Mr. Cesario Joel C. Espejo, Ms. Marites M. Maristela, Mr. Marcelo Nicomedes G. Castillo, Mr. Fernando R. De Villa Jr., Leo L. Quintilla, Ms. Maria Evelyn B. Macapobre, Ms. Rebecca P. Gayamala, Ms. Grace B. Subong, Attorney C.T. Raifa M. Pamaloy Hasan, Ms. Marie Flor D. Libang, Mr. Ronald R. Cui, Mr. Restituto B. Makuto, Mr. Vicente Gregorio B. Tomas, Mr. Ramel F. Hamen, Mr. Arnel B. Garcia. From DSWD Planning and Budget Secretariat Committee, Ms. Victoria N. Navida, Ms. Melanie Rose R. Veril, Mr. Samir M. Manzanilla, Ms. Nena A. De Veas, Ms. Pamela Marie C. Pascua, Ms. Cheryl Rose L. Munoz, from NCIP, Ms. Glenda Pua, Mr. Jing Bantayan Jr., Mr. Edelito Sumangil, Mr. Jerry Aguio, Ms. Gillian S. Donuan, Ms. Pinky Grace P. Pareja, Ms. Cheryl Logroño. From DBM, Mr. Benjeli Zuniga, Ms. May Marie Ardizon, Ms. Elizabeth Bernal. From ICAB, Ms. Angelita N. Garinya, Ms. Catherine B. De La Cruz, and that will be all for now. Meron po bang hindi natawag?
Okay, thank you very much. And perhaps I can invite my colleagues, both Senator Lacson as well as Senator Pacquiao. Do you have any preliminary statements or opening rejoinders? Senator Pacquiao, Senator Ping Lacson.
Ma'am, Senator Pacquiao prepared a presentation, ma'am, for his opening statement po.
Nothing from this representation, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you very much, Senator Lacson. Senator Pacquiao, would you like to present now or later?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'm
And
ready
you have
to,
a video.
yes, Madam Chair, I'm ready to give my opening statement and play my video, Mr. President, Mr. Chair, Madam Chair.
Okay, please go ahead, Senator Pacquiao.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Maayong buntag, fellow senators and public servants. Nagpapasalamat po ako sa ating mga magigiting at tapat na mga kawani ng gobyerno na mula sa Department of Social Welfare and Development. Saludo po ako sa inyong dedikasyon at pagmamahal sa bayan. Madam Chair, there are honest and committed public servants, but there are those who take advantage of their position at the expense of our kababayans. Bago ako umalis papuntang Amerika ay hinamon po ako na maglabas ng mga ebidensya kaugnay ng mga ahensyang aking binanggit na nagsasangkot sa isyu ng korupsyon. Kabilang din ang Department of Social Welfare and Development o DSWD. Nabalitaan natin na ipinagmamalaki ng pamunuan ng DSWD at kumpanyang STARPAY na ibalik na ang pundo o ayuda. Pero nangahulugan ba ito naligtas na sila sa questionable transaction at palpak na pamamahagi ng ayuda? Paano kung hindi ito nalantad, Madam Chair? Bago po ako magtanong, bigyan niyo po ako ng pagkakataon na ipakita ang maikling video at kayo na po ang maghusga. Maraming salamat po. Ito na pong susunod po yung video.
Please, sige, Secretary, naka-share screen na ba yung video ni Senator Pacquiao?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, there we go. We're sharing content. Thank you.
Mga kababayan ko, nitong mga nakalipas na araw ay naging mainit ang usapin tungkol sa lumalalang korupsyon sa ating bansa. Hindi natin hangarin na galitin ang Pangulong Duterte. Ngunit kagaya ng Pangulo, pinagkatiwalaan din po ako ng mahigit 16 milyon na Pilipino. At gaya ng Pangulo, may mga pananagutan din tayo sa ating bayan.
July 3, humarap sa mga mamahayag si Senador Manny Pacquiao sa isang virtual press conference. Ipinakita ni Pacquiao sa publiko ang bultong mga dokumento at sumbong ng umano'y katiwalian sa mga ahensya ng Department of Energy, Department of Health at Department of Social Welfare and Development. Isa sa isyong tinukoy ni Pacquiao na kinasangkutan ng DSWD ay may kaugnayan sa pamamahagi ng Social Amelioration Program o SAP. Isang kumpanya na binanggit ni Pacquiao ay ang electronic money issuer na STARPAY Corporation. Ayon sa source ng senador, inabot ng siyam-siyam ang pamimigay ng ayudang ipinagkatiwala sa STARPAY na hindi na ibigay sa mga beneficiary sa takdang panahon. Bakit ipinagkatiwala ang mahigit 50 bilyong pisong ayuda ng 6 hanggang 7 milyong mahihirap sa hindi kilalang kumpanya na walang track record? Sino nga ba ang nasa likod ng STARPAY? Base sa registration ng STARPAY Corporation, kabilang sa board of directors ng kumpanya sina Joey Uy, Ulysses Lau, Armando Cahayon Jr., Lamberto Scarella at Philip Co. Jr. 2018 lang nagkaroon ng Electronic Money Issuer o EMI license mula sa BSP ang STARPAY kumpara sa GCash at iba pang EMI na kilala na sa industriya. Katanungan din kung ano ang ginamit na basihan ng DSWD, DBM at Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas sa pagpasok sa kasunduan sa STARPAY na nakakuha ng mahigit 50 bilyong pisong alokasyon ng SAP. Ito'y kahit nagdeklara ang kumpanya ng negative 26 million peso income noong taong 2019. Sa paunang budget na 80 billion pesos ay ibinigay sa STARPAY ang halos 52 billion pesos. Ano ang dahilan at batayan ng DSWD kung paano napili ang STARPAY? Nasa 14 na milyon ang benepisyaryo ng SAP. Malalaking financial service providers o FSPs ang kasama ng STARPAY'S sa SAP distribution. Kabilang dito ang Rizal Commercial Banking Corporation, Robinsons Bank Corporation, Union Bank of the Philippines, Electronic Money Issuer para sa GCash, PayMaya Philippines Incorporated, at ang STARPAY Corporation na may opisina sa bayan ng Taytay, Rizal. Ang STARPAY, na isang mas maliit na kumpanya kumpara sa ibang FSP, ay nakuha ang kontrata at serbisyo sa 6 hanggang 7 milyong mga benepisyaryo. Bakit ganoon kalaki ang halaga ng salapi ang pinagkatiwala sa STARPAY Corporation na nasa 52 billion pesos? Sa unang tranche ng SAP distribution, ang pinakamalaking tipak ng pondo para sa unang ratsyada ng SAP, STARPAY Corporation para sa 1,890,263 beneficiaries ng SAP. Sa pamamagitan ng Electronic Money Issuer o EMIs, kailangang tiyakin ang mabilis na pamamahagi ng ayuda sa gitna ng kahirapang dala ng pandemya. Sa kasunduan ng DSWD at mga financial service providers o FSPs, kailangan din na ibalik ng FSP ang pondo sa loob ng 7 araw mula nang tanggapin ito sa DSWD. Government financial institutions lang tulad ng Development Bank of the Philippines o DBP at Land Bank ang maaaring gamitin sa mga transaksyon ng gobyerno. Bakit sa pribadong bank account ng STARPAY idineposito ang pondo mula sa bangko ng gobyerno? Ano ba ang naging basihan para mailipat ang pondo ng gobyerno mula sa Land Bank papunta sa account ng STARPAY sa isang private bank? At kung nasa pribadong bangko ang pondo ng gobyerno, kanino mapupunta ang interes nito? Ipinagkatiwala ng DSWD sa STARPAY ang ayuda para sa 6 to 7 million beneficiaries, pero nasa 800,000 lamang ang nag-download ng STARPAY app. Ano nga ulit ang naging batayan para paboran ng STARPAY sa ganitong paraan? Pero sa inilabas na press statement ng STARPAY Corporation, ipinagmamalaki nito ang higit sa 5 milyong mga benepisyaryo ng SAP na kanilang naserbisyuhan sa pamamagitan ng kanilang e-wallet platform. Bakit pinayagan ng DSWD na gamitin ng STARPAY ang Western Union at MLUWILL? Inatasan ng BSP na i-waive ng mga bangko ang interbank online transfer fees sa gitna ng pandemya. Pero ang ayuda, may kaltas na 50 pesos sa bawat transaksyon para sa serbisyo. Sa 5 milyong katao ay aabot ng 250 million pesos ang kaltas sa ayuda. Nitong April 2021, kinansela at tinapos ng DSWD ang kontrata ng mga FSPs. Kasunod ng paglalantad ni Senador Pacquiao sa issue. Inamin ng STARPAY na isinoli nila ang 8 billion pesos sa DSWD. Pero ang tanong, kailan ibinalik ng STARPAY ang pondo ng SAP na hindi na ipamahagi sa mga beneficiary? Marami pang hindi tumatanggap ng saklolo ng gobyerno kahit mahigit 1 taon na ang epekto ng pandemya. Hanggang ngayon sa Caloocan City, sa Navotas, 4,712 na beneficiaries ng SAP pa ang hindi tumatanggap. Nabuhayan naman ng loob ang ating mga kababayan sa ginawang paglalantad ni Senador Pacquiao. Nagmamadali ngayon ang DSWD para ipamahagi ang SAP na halos 1 taong naantala at hinintay. May pananagutan ba ang EMI kung hindi na ibigay sa takdang panahon ang ayuda? Hindi na ipamahagi ng STARPAY sa mahigit 1 milyong beneficiaries ang ayudang aabot ng 8 bilyong pisong nakadeposito sa isang pribadong bangko sa loob ng halos 1 taon. Ano ang naging batayan ng DSWD para ipagkatiwala sa hindi kilalang kumpanya ang mahigit 50 billion pesos na ayuda? Ano ang basihan sa pagpili ng DSWD sa STARPAY? At ang malaking tanong ngayon ay kanino mapupunta ang interes sa pondo? Sino ang nagka-interes sa SAP?
Ayan po, napanood niyo ang video, Madam Chair. May mga nagmanipula na gamitin ng STARPAY na isang naluluging kumpanya. ipinagkatiwalaan ng 52 billion pesos pundo ng gobyerno kahit na nagdeklarang lugi ito ng 26 million peso noong 2019. Maliwanag na mayroong nakinabang sa pundo na para sana sa ayuda. Dapat po nating pag-usapan ito para hindi na po maulit ang ganitong pangyayari. Ngayon, Madam Chair, humingi na naman po ng bilyong-bilyong peso pundo ang DSWD para sa mga kababayan nating nangangailangan. Ang tanong ko ngayon, ano ang nangyari sa STARPAY? Hindi po porket ibinalik ang pera, iligtas ka na. Ligtas na sila sa ganitong mga transaksyon. Paano nga pala kung ang kinitang interest na private bank account ng STARPAY? So kung ganyan po pala ang Madam Chair, ang basihan, lahat ng nagnakaw kapag ibinalik ang pera, absuelto na. Hindi na dapat maulit ito, Madam Chair. Gaano ba tayo kasigurado hindi na po pag-iinteresan ang pundo na para sa ayuda? Yan po ang gusto kong marinig na mapaliwanagan ako ng maayos nang hindi mapagsamantalahan ang ating mga kababayan. Hindi po ako against sa ayuda para sa ating mga kababayan. Gusto ko po maiabot talaga at maibigay sa kanila lahat. Makinabang ang mga naghihirap na tao. Ito pa isang karagdagang tanong, Madam Chair, sa isang region kung saan may 1,000 tao na ang nagreklamo at lumapit sa akin. Marami po ito, Madam Chair. Lumapit sila sa akin kung saan noong 2017 pa po sila huling nakatanggap ng ayuda. Yun pa po ang una at huling ayuda na natanggap nila. Pero ito ang himala, Madam Chair. Lumalabas sa records na tumatanggap pa rin sila base sa record ng DSWD. Pero wala naman silang natatanggap na aktual. Kawawa naman po sila, Madam Chair. Dapat sagutin niya ng DSWD. Noong 2021 ay pinunduhan ng 176.9 billion peso ang DSWD. Ngayon po ay humihingi na naman ng 191.4 billion peso. Mas mataas ito ng 14.5 billion. Gaano kami kasigurado na yung hinihingi ninyo ay sigurado mapupunta sa tao at makakarating sa takdang panahon at walang malilipasan ng gutom? Yun po, marami pa po akong mga katanungan at mamaya po ipagpatuloy ko yung doon sa Q&A. Yan na po, Madam Chair, ang aking opening statement.
Yes, thank you very much, Senator Pacquiao. And would the Secretary like to respond, or do we proceed with the presentation of the department? Secretary, please.
The members of the Senate Subcommittee on Finance, chaired by Senator Sani Angara, to the hardworking sponsor of the Department of Social Welfare and Development, Senator Imee Marcos, to my DSWD colleagues, and to the heads of the DSWD attached and supervised agencies, magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. It is with great honor and pleasure that we present to the Senate Subcommittee on Finance the proposed fiscal year 2022 budget of the DSWD and its attached agencies. With your permission, Madam Senator, may we ask this august body to allow us to present our proposed budget for fiscal year 2022.
Yes, you're welcome. Secretary, please go on.
Thank you, Madam.
Technical staff, please.
Okay, so may we share our presentation. Social welfare and development concerns are among the exigent priorities in the country as stipulated in the Philippine Development Plan 2017 to 2022. Considering the incidence of poverty remains to be a daunting challenge for millions of Filipinos, the department, as the lead in the social welfare and development sector, proposes a total budget of 191.399 billion pesos for fiscal year 2022, including the operations of its attached and supervised agencies. For fiscal year 2022, the current budget levels for DSWD alone is 189.129 billion pesos. The 189.129 billion pesos proposed budget of the department is broken down as follows: 9.2 billion pesos for personnel services. The increase in personnel services can be attributed to the salary adjustments based on actual field positions generated by the government manpower information system of the Department of Budget and Management, and to cover the third tranche salary adjustment. 179 billion pesos for the maintenance and other operating expenses, or MOOE. The increase is mostly attributed to the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program and additional financing of the Kalay Seeds and CDDP. 388.4 million pesos for financial expenses. This has an increase of 34.4% over the 2021 approved budget. The increase will cover bank service fees on the implementation of social pension to indigent senior citizens. The approved capital outlay in fiscal year 2022, amounting to 364.2 million, will cover the procurement of needed ICT equipment of the department and the placement of unserviceable vehicle in central and in our field offices. 146.6 million pesos is for the retirement and life insurance premium, or the RLIP. For your appreciation, here are the top programs, activities, and projects of the DSWD, showing the comparison with the 2021 GAA budget and the 2022 NEP. Meanwhile, with the spread of the COVID-19 and the passage of Bayanihan 1 and Bayanihan 2 Acts, the department remained at the forefront in the distribution of the emergency subsidy. For the first tranche, the DSWD and the local government units served 98.15% of the 17.9 million target family beneficiaries. As to financial accomplishments, we have disbursed 99.7 billion pesos.
Malayo natin sa mga Kastila ay
For the
nagkaroon ng tinatawag na konsolidasyon ng demokrasi. Kaya tayo ay nagtaklas laban sa Kastila ay gusto natin ng demokrasya sa pamamagitan.
Excuse me, Secretary, I seem to hear something coming in.
Eh, walang demokrasya. So,
Yes, can we turn off our, can we just mute our microphones if we are not speaking? Let's allow the Secretary to finish his presentation, please.
For the second tranche, we have attained 98.18% accomplishment rate as of August 31, 2021, with around 90.9 billion pesos disbursed through direct payouts and digital payment. For Bayanihan 2, the DSWD served 94.23% of the 761,259 target family beneficiaries. As to financial accomplishments, we have disbursed around 5.1 billion pesos for Bayanihan 2. Here is the budget proposals of the 4 DSWD attached and 3 supervised agencies for fiscal year 2022 with comparison with its fiscal year 2021 approved budgets. With the exemption of the Presidential Commission for the Urban Poor and National Commission on Indigenous Peoples, the attached and supervised agencies have lower budget allocations. As we end this presentation, allow us to share the quick snapshot of the COVID-19 cases of DSWD personnel nationwide, covering the period from 17 March 2020 to 6 October 2021. Over the said period, 12,245 employees underwent quarantine. A total of 3,231 employees got afflicted with COVID-19. Of this number, 2,756 already recovered, 23 died, and 452 are active cases still battling with COVID-19. Despite the big number of our casualties and those infected by COVID-19, DSWD remains steadfast in our commitment to serve the poor, vulnerable, and marginalized. Our efforts will never be sufficient without the support of our colleagues in the legislature. It is upon this premise that we seek to reinforce our commitment to help the Filipino people, fully knowing that you are one with us and that your heart belongs to us. Tunay na serbisyong may kalinga at pagmamahal. Ito ang DSWD. Ito ang ating gobyernong may pagmamahal at malasakit sa may hirap sa pamumuno ni Presidente Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Maraming salamat po, Madam Chair.
Maraming salamat din sa ating secretary. I'd like to recognize the other senators who are present as well, virtually or in person. First to log in, of course, was Senator Pacquiao, thereafter Senator Lacson, thereafter our Chairman of Finance, Senator Angara, and Senator Pia Cayetano, Senator Pangilinan, representing the minority, and Senator Binay, I understand, is with us as well. Do any of the senators also wish to make an opening statement, although Senator Pacquiao has already finished with that? Or do we proceed to interpellations? Yes, Senator Angara, Cayetano, from the minority. Any opening statements? Senator Binay.
And from me, Madam Chair, thank you. Good morning to Sec Rolly and the DSWD family, Madam Chair, and to our colleagues.
Yes, thanks very much. It's good to have you here. I think we need the chairman to look for money, so it's an opportune appearance. Okay, thanks. If none of the senators will make any opening remarks, Secretary Rolly, are there any other presentations from the individual agencies, or that's the general representation of the entire department?
Madam Chair, that's the all presentations were already integrated on what I've shown a while ago, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much for the very concise presentation. Let's proceed to the interpellations. And I believe Senator Pacquiao had some questions. Unang-una, yung pinakita niyang video tungkol sa STARPAY. Senator Pacquiao, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For my other questions, let me continue on status of the Social Amelioration Program o SAP. Nais ko pong malaman kung ano na po ang status ng SAP at ng mga FSP o financial service providers. Can you please clarify the issues of beneficiaries who have not received the benefits through financial service providers tulad ng STARPAY but they were tagged as paid in the database?
Yes, Secretary Rolly.
Madam Chair, may Director Wayne Belisar be recognized?
Yes, surely. Director Belisar, please answer Senator Pacquiao's query. Yes, Director Belisar. Any explanation regarding the STARPAY contract and the payouts? Yes, Director Wayne. Director Wayne, you're inaudible. Director Belisar. Mr. Secretary, in as much as Director Belisar can't seem to get his audio working, is there anyone else who can help us along?
Yes, Madam Chair. May Director Kat Ongoko be recognized, Madam Chair.
Okay, Director Kat. Okay, Director Kat, can you please proceed?
Test mic, hello. Madam Chair, can you hear me this time?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that Wayne?
Yes po, this is Director Wayne, Madam Chair. So thank you for the question of Senator Pacquiao. And to answer Senator Pacquiao, I'd like to mention, Madam Chair, that the Secretary had issued guidance notes, the latest of which was dated August 24 of 2021, where all the grievances are supposed to be handled and paid by our regional offices, okay, until October 15, Madam Chair. So until this week, we gave our field offices the opportunity to be able to pay all the SAP beneficiaries, the Social Amelioration Program beneficiaries, particularly the Emergency Subsidy Program, until this week, October 15, to receive their subsidies. For those that had unsuccessful disbursements in our financial service providers through our FSPs, including STARPAY, Madam Chair.
Okay, Senator Pacquiao. Apparently,
yes.
they've extended the deadline hanggang sa October 15. Okay. Yes, Senator Pacquiao.
Thank you, Madam Chair, but my question is yung kahit update man lang sana ng pinamimigay nila, hindi lang kahit na hindi pa tapos, at least mayroon kayong initial update para sa yung mga nabigyan nyo na o yung hindi nakatanggap kasi nagpo-propose na naman kayo ng budget eh. So mahirap naman yun na aprobahan na naman yung budget dito tapos bibigyan na naman kayo ng budget tapos hindi pa na-explain kahit initial man lang sana at sabihin na yung iba hindi pa complete talaga. So ilan yung hindi, ilan yung nabigyan, ilan yung wala po ba silang Madam Chair, wala po ba silang record na ganon?
Kanina may binanggit yata si Secretary, Director Wayne please. Kanina may binanggit si Secretary dun sa SUP 1 and 2 na 99.86% disbursement na. Yung Bayanihan 2, sinasabi ninyo na 99.23% disbursed na. So, saan ninyo kukunin yung pera kung marami pa rin grievances at ang lalaki nitong mga lugar na to, Caloocan lalo. So, paano yon? Dahil kanina binanggit ninyo 99% na tayo. May pera pa bang pambayad? At bakit napakarami pa rin ng grievance?
Madam Chair, I just want to clarify na itong tinatanong ko, bayanihan to pa ito. So bayanihan to pa ito, last year pa ito, hanggang ngayon wala pa silang kahit na ano.
Kiniklaim nga nila, Senator Manny, kiniklaim nila yung Bayanihan 2, 99.23% na ipamigay na. Pero yung obligation pala is 80%. So may halos 20% pang kulang. Tama ba yun? Director Wayne?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, yung atin pong fund source para doon po sa mga grievances, Madam Chair, kasi po ang nangyari po dito, una po, nag-disburse tayo through the FSPs. Now,
Right.
for some reasons, for example, data quality issue, Madam Chair, hindi kompleto yung ang address, yung pangalan ay hindi maayos yung pagkaka-encode. So may mga data quality issue, walang cellphone number, the FSP would usually refund the money, Madam Chair. And so, yung refunded money na ito, Madam Chair, so for example, STARPAY, yung total refunded money po ng STARPAY ay 8.232 billion. So ito po yung mga isinoli ng STARPAY ay ibinabalik po namin sa aming mga kada field offices. And then yung mga field offices namin, siya po ang nagpoproseso para po mabayaran itong mga beneficiaries na to through our SDOs or Special Disbursing Officers. So the same fund po,
So
Madam Chair.
magkano yun, Director Wayne? Magkano sa ngayon ang refunded at hindi na ipamahagi?
Madam Chair, nagsimula po yung mga refund since last year, August 2020. At ang pinakahuli po ay June 25, 2021.
O so magkano ngayon?
Ang total refund po, Madam Chair, ay
Nasa
nasa
inyo pa?
23.015 billion. So kada panahon that we receive the refunds, Madam Chair, we usually transfer this to the field offices para po i-reprocess nila yung payroll at mabayaran sila through the Special Disbursing Officers.
Madam Chair, Madam Chairperson.
Chair,
Yes, Senator Lacson, I was going to ask
Yes.
lang kasi yung
Yeah.
sinasabi pala na disbursement rate ni Secretary Rolly, yun yung sa obligation na 80% lang. So may talagang, maliban pa dito sa refunds, may nananatili pang halos 20% sa inyo. Tama ba yun, Director Wayne?
Madam Chair, yung figures po ay talagang fluid as I have mentioned earlier.
Madam Chairperson.
Senator Lacson would
Yes.
need to be recognized.
Just very quick interjection to pursue this point and clarification. We're talking here of disbursement over obligation.
That's right.
Okay. So, yung 99% ninyo is just 99% of 80%. That's the
That's
point
right.
being raised by the chairperson. So, talaga mababa pa rin yung inyong utilization ng pondo. Now, another question is, bakit hanggang ngayon iba pa yung address? 2015 yung basihan ng ating SAF. Hanggang ngayon, din nyo pa na-perfect yung address ng mga beneficiaries?
Madam Chair,
Yes,
kaya
Secretary.
kaya ko itinanong itong mga question na ito dahil gumamit po sila ng iba't ibang company para mapabilis ang pamamahagi ng ayuda na ito. Tapos ngayon, isang taon mahigit, hindi pa na, tapos nagkakaproblema pa, humingi lang tayo ng data o update doon sa pamimigay. Walang maibigay, kaya nga gumamit tayo ng kaya nga gumamit tayo ng iba't ibang company. Kaya nandyan yung STARPAY, nakapasok para mapabilis ang pamimigay natin ng ayuda. Tapos ngayon, wala silang maibigay, magpupropose na naman ng budget, tapos tatanungin natin ng update sa mga pamimigay, walang maibigay na dito. Ano ba yan?
Madam Chair.
Yes, Secretary, please respond.
Yes, in answer to Senator Manny Pacquiao. Actually, we have the actual data. The details of which is we have at hand. Yung tanong lang po ni Senator Manny with regards to the FSP, with your permission, may Director Ongoko be recognized, Madam Chair.
Yes, Director Ongoko, please.
Madam Chair, to our Honorable Senator Manny Pacquiao, the reason why we opted to partner with financial service providers is to, we agree with the Senate of the Philippines that the very reason is to expediently distribute the subsidies to our beneficiaries. However, when we were able to get the subsets, ibig sabihin po yung mga datos ng ating mga beneficiaries, we were not advised that most of our beneficiaries are not able to provide their mobile phones. And if they were able to provide, marami po kaming nakitang mga maling mobile phones, or meron din po kaming nakita na hindi na po nagagamit ang mga mobile phones. Ito po ang naging dahilan namin kung bakit nagkaroon po kami ng readjustment po sa aming mga calculations, at nagkaroon po kami ng mixed method of distributing the ayuda or the subsidy to our beneficiaries. Kaya makikita po natin sa aming mga reports po, meron po kaming mga binayaran to financial service providers, meron din po kaming binayaran to through our special disbursing officers. Yun po yung mga dahilan kung bakit meron pong binayaran, sa mga tama po ang numbers, financial service providers po, at meron din pong binayaran yung mga hindi po namin nalulocate. Binavalidate po iyon ayon po sa aming mga guidelines, at binabayaran po iyon sa pamamagitan po ng special disbursing officers po ng aming department.
Hindi yata yun yung tinatanong ni Senator Pacquiao. Ang sinasabi lang ninyo, dalawang klase yung pamimigay, which we're aware of. Ang tinatanong yata ng ating mga senador mula kay Senator Lacson, bakit hanggang ngayon, pagkatagal-tagal na, 80% pa lamang ang obligated. So, yun ang tanong namin, hindi naman yung method of distribution Kasi alam naman natin na iba-ibang pamamaraan ang ginagamit ng DSWD para abutin lahat ng beneficiary.
Madam Chairperson?
Yes, is that Senator Binay?
Yes, with the permission of Senator Manny, just for clarification, kasi kanina nabanggit yung amount na 23 billion. Ito ba yung buong amount that was refunded by FSP?
Nance, iba pa to. Yung 23 billion refunded yan. Hindi pa yan pasok dun sa 20% na hindi pa na-obligate.
So on top pa tong 23 billion dun sa hindi na-obligate.
Yes,
Tama po ba, Madam Chairperson?
Yes, let's ask Director Wayne. Director Wayne, can we clarify your earlier statement? Can we go back to that? Yung 23 billion, ang pagkaintindi ko, yan yung nasa inyo pa, transferred to the field offices for grievances and other issues? Tama
Actually,
ba yun?
Madam Chairperson, parang pagkaintindi ko, yung 23 billion, ito yung sinoli ng STARPAY and other FSPs.
That's right.
Kasi
that's right.
either kulang mali yung phone number or whatever technicalities, di ba?
These are all refunds. That's correct. Okay. Director Wayne Belisar, please reply. There are two questions. Unang-una, yung 23 billion, kinaklarify na yan ang refund ng mga FSP. Tama ba yun?
Sana sila.
Director Wayne? Secretary, can someone reply? Because Director Wayne seems to be inaudible.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So the 23 billion, Madam Chair, that's correct. That is the total refunds from all the 6 FSPs, excluding Land Bank.
And pinakamalaki dito yung STARPAY. Out of the 23 billion, yung malaking bahagi neto na nag-refund ay STARPAY po ba?
The STARPAY po ay 8 billion, Madam Chair.
Okay. Sinong mas malaki na nag-refund?
I think that's the biggest, Madam Chair, yung STARPAY.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
I'll just confirm, but that's the highest. And as I've said, Madam Chair, the refunds started to come in August of last year. So as soon as we received the refund, we transfer this to our field offices, and they process right away. So therefore, na-disburse din ito after they reprocess the payroll, Madam Chair. And the last refund that we have received was in June 25 of this year. So
Yes,
most probably, yung mga ongoing na mga payouts would come from these latter refunds coming from, for example, StarPay, Madam Chair.
Yes, but Director Wayne, earlier you said that 23 ang natitira sa inyo pa. Hindi pa na-pay out yan, kundi na-transfer lamang sa field office. Andiyan ba yung 23? Tama ba yun?
Not necessarily, Madam Chair.
Hindi, kasi sabi mo paikot-ikot din yan mula Agosto hanggang June 25. Kaya lang, 23 billion is the total refunded or that's what you have in your kitty right now?
Siguro, Madam Chairperson, baka para mas malinaw, can we just set the cut-off? Makukuha niyo ba as of today or as of yesterday or as of last week? Magkano na ba yung natitira dun sa 23 billion?
Kasi earlier, that was the question kung ano natitira
Madam Chair, kaya ko
Yes,
tinatanong itong tanong na ito, Madam Chair, because sa SAP1, nagka-problema nga po dahil sa ganyang pamimigay. At naintindihan natin yun dahil umpisa pa lang, bago pa lang, maraming problema. At doon sa SAP1 at nilinis nila, nagkaroon sila ng idea paano pabilisin at paano gumanda ang pamimigay, mas mapabilis pa ang pamimigay. Kaso sa SAP2, Madam Chair, ang daming problema hanggang ngayon, wala pang data na maibigay sila doon sa mga katanungan natin kahit initial data lang. Naguguluhan po tayo, Madam Chair. Gusto natin na malinaw na sagot dahil mas malaki po ang budget proposal nila ngayong taon na to kaysa last year. So, kailangan na po nating magtanong at mabigyan ng linaw yung mga katanungan natin.
Thank you, Director Wayne.
Madam
Can
Chair.
you give us the status of that fund? Magkano natitira sa 23 billion na refund?
Madam Chair, we usually report our disbursements and obligation on a daily basis.
Kaya nga, today, Monday, magkano yung natitira?
Madam Chair, base sa latest report namin, yung natitira na lang po ay 1.627 billion, Madam Chair, as of today.
Okay, that answers Senator Nancy Binay. I think no one has responded to the query of Senator Lacson earlier. Maybe Wayne, you can also reply. Why is only 80% distributed or obligated, given that you were working under very strict guidelines for emergency nga?
Madam Chair,
Yes, who's that? Sorry.
Secretary Bautista po.
Yes, Secretary Rolly, please.
Madam Chair, the question of Honorable Senator Ping Lacson is on the Bayanihan 2. So may ASEC Glenda be recognized with regards to the obligation rate and the disbursement rate, which is obligation rate 80.48%, disbursement rate is 99.23%. So may ASEC Glenda be recognized, Madam Chair.
Yes, ASEC Glenda, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So regarding the question of the Honorable Senator Lacson on the Bayanihan 2, it is more focused on the granular lockdown. So this was the 6 billion given to the DSWD. However, when we ask for the estimate, initially, the field offices submitted higher estimate. But when validated, madami po dun sa mga areas ang wala pong declaration ng regional IATF. And according to our guidelines, hindi po tayo po pwedeng magbigay pagka po walang declaration coming from the RIATF. So mas mababa po yung naging actual accomplishment from the targeted beneficiary. So from the 761,000 beneficiaries targeted, ang na-serve lang po ay 717,000. So hindi po nakakomply at madami pong mga beneficiaries ang na-found out na nakakuha na rin po and they are not eligible anymore. So the DSWD...
Magkano natitirang pondo na hindi na nagastos dahil magulo nga yung data sa granular lockdowns?
Around, probably Director Wayne can confirm around 1.2 billion for the Bayanihan 2, ma'am. Director Wayne?
Yes, Madam Chair, that's the amount that we have obligated. Yung unobligated balance, Madam Chair, is 1,265,411,988. That's the unobligated balance for Bayanihan 2, Madam Chair.
Okay. Yes, Senator Pacquiao, Senator Lacson, anyone wishes to continue?
Madam Chairman, Madam Chairperson.
Madam
Yes,
Chair.
Senator Lacson.
I yield to Senator Pacquiao. I yield to Senator
Okay,
Pacquiao.
Senator Pacquiao, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Meron po akong information dito, Madam Chair. May isang DSWD study na ginawa si Joseph Nabarosa, Jasmine Pelgone, and Imee Marcos. Ayon dito sa pag-aaral na ito, Madam Chair, yung Pimaya, Imloler, Cebuana, Palawan Express, Smart Padala at Bangko ng ang kinilala ng mga tao. 0 ang may kilala kay STARPAY sa mismong study ng DSWD. Bakit po, Madam Chair, na nakatanggap ng malaking allocation ang STARPAY, more than 50 billion sa pagdating dito sa ayuda? Ano pong, gusto ko lang pong malaman kung anong criteria ang mayroon ng STARPAY na yun ang pinili, Madam Chair. Gusto ko lang malinawan.
Yes, maybe know how these were apportioned. Secretary Wayne, please reply, DSWD.
Madam Chair, actually po yung pagpili po ng mga financial service providers, we seek assistance, technical assistance from the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. So, on the details of which may Director Kat Ongoko be recognized, Madam Chair.
Yes, Director Ongoko.
Yes po, magandang umaga po. Gusto ko lang po unang klaruhin na yung study po na ginawa nila Mr. Joseph Nabarosa, Ms. Jasmine, ay para po sa assistance to individuals in crisis situation, ang regular na programa po ng DSWD. Ito po ay ginawa after po ng Social Amelioration Program implementation. At gayon po dun sa pangalawang question ng ating butihing senador na si Senator Manny Pacquiao, Madam Chair, ang basehan po ng DSWD kung bakit nagkaroon po ng malaking allocation ang STARPAY ay gaya po ng aking nabanggit kanina na nung una po kaming nanghingi ng mga datos, pangalan, mobile number, addresses ng aming mga beneficiaries po, hindi po namin na ikonsidera ang kakayanan ng ating mga beneficiaries kung kaya nilang makapagbigay ng tamang datos. Tinatawag po naming datasets. Nung natanggap po namin ang datasets po ng aming mga beneficiaries, napag-alaman po ng aming grupo ng DSWD na karamihan po pala ng ating mga beneficiaries wala pong numbers, walang mobile numbers, or kung meron man po silang mobile numbers, may mga hindi na po gumagana or hindi po namin nakokontak. Kaya po doon po sa original allocation na 1.6 million sa STARPAY, nagkaroon po ng pag-uusap kasama ang Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas.
Yes, but Director, I don't think that's responsive. Yung tinatanong kasi ni Senator Pacquiao, bakit STARPAY? Na ika nga never heard kung ikukumpara sa GCash at Paymaya. Bakit STARPAY ang pinakamalaki? Wala
Madam
namang kinalaman
Chairperson?
sa dataset yun eh.
Madam Chairperson, baka pwede din
Senator
matanong
Pacquiao, please.
if there was a bidding
Ay,
process.
Senator Binay, sorry.
Hindi, Madam Chairperson, siguro pandagdag lang, was there a bidding process pagdating dun sa pagpili ng FSPs?
Yes, Madam Chair. Para po dun sa criteria, sa tulong po ng Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas at saka ng USAID, nagkaroon po kami ng terms of reference kung sino-sino po ang
Sinabi na ninyo yun, pero Director, paano pinaghati-hati? Bakit mas malaki nga yung STARPAY sa lahat? Kung tutuusin, kung prorated yan sa laki ng kumpanya, di dapat GCash yung pinakamalaki, di ba? Sila yung pinakasikat. Tapos Paymaya yung susunod. Bakit yung STARPAY na nagdeklara nga ng utang at lugi sa taong 2017, biglang yun ang pinakamalaki? Yun ang tinatanong, hindi naman yung data set.
Yes, ma'am. Ang aming pong criteria, doon po nalaman na meron po kami tinatawag na geographical allocation ng bawat financial service provider. Ang determination pong ginamit namin dito, yung experience, yung lisensya, product of service, technology, and reporting mechanism po ng aming mga partner financial service provider. So kung ilan po ang mga cash out partners ng isang financial service provider, itinatama po namin yun sa potential na beneficiaries bawat lugar. So yun po yung naging konsiderasyon po namin.
How did that break down? There are 42 million subscribers to GCash. How did that become STARPAY? Di dapat GCash, tama si Senator Pacquiao.
Distribution.
Yes, ma'am.
Sabi ko mas maraming distribution. 42 million nga yung isa yung STARPAY, ilan lang?
If I may, Madam Chair.
Yes, Senator Pacquiao, please.
2019, nagdeklara pang lugi itong STARPAY. Tapos, pagdating ng 2020, nakakuha sila ng more than 50 billion pesos na pondo sa galing sa gobyerno. Paano? Sabi nila, pagbabasyan yung experience, yung capacity to distribute the money para maipamahagi ng mabilis. Ang daming hindi nakapag-download sa STARPAY, maraming hindi nakakilala sa STARPAY at nalugi pa itong company na to at magkano lang yung na-download sa STARPAY. Yung na-download sa STARPAY nasa 800,000 more or less yung naka-download. Itong GCash kumpara sa GCash, mahirap yata intindihin, Madam Chair, yung explanation bakit ganun kalaki yung nakuha ng STARPAY na pundo kumpara dito sa GCash at saka Paymaya na mas malaki, di ba, itong company na to. In reality,
sorry, yes. Done, Senator Pacquiao?
Yes, Senator Imee, matanong ko lang si Senator Pacquiao kung alam niya kasi pinakita niya kanina yung mga ng stockholders. Sino ba si Uy at sino ba si Lau? Kung alam niya.
Madam Chair, yun lang yung nakalista doon sa
SEC.
Kasi these are familiar surnames, ha? Uy, Lau.
I don't know, Madam Chair, kung ano ba yung related ba yun doon or basta yun yung naka-register doon sa SEC.
Madam Chairperson.
Yes, and is that Senator Pangilinan?
Yes. Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Just to interject as regards the comments and manifestation of Senators Lacson and Senator Pacquiao, yung ang tanong dito ito ba PHARMALLY ng DSWD o hindi? Siguro yun ang pinakatanong niya, no? Na kumpanyang nalugi at ngayon ay may 50 billion na nilaan na pondo para sa kanilang operations habang meron naman 42 million subscribers ang GCash.
Tingin ko, Madam Chair, mas mahigit pa ito sa PHARMALLY.
Madam Chair.
Is that Secretary Rolly?
Yeah.
Would you like to answer, please?
Yeah. Unang-una po, wala pong kinalaman at hindi rin po nakipag-engage ang DSWD sa PHARMALLY. And apparently yung STARPAY, yung pinapaliwanag po kanina ni Director Kat Ongoko, na lahat po ng aming ginawa, lahat po ng aming aksyon, desisyon, ay kumuha po kami ng technical assistance ng ating pong Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Kaya po nagkaroon po tayo ng mga unang-una, nagkaroon po tayo ng MOA, ang DSWD, with the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. At ang kinalabasan din po noon ay yung terms of reference na ito po yung kasunduan sa ating mga financial service providers. So, up to now, nanghihingi po rin po kami ng technical assistance sa ating Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. At si Director Kat po, pwede niya pong ipaliwanag kung bakit from the initial allocation sa STARPAY ay kung bakit po ito nadagdagan. Ito na po kasi yung sinasabi natin yung nangyayari sa ground. We have to make adjustments. Pero yung decision po na dagdagan yung sa Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas ay humingi rin po kami ng kaukulang guidance o assistance, technical assistance sa Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas po. Pero as a whole, dinicide namin yan with the assistance po na binabanggit ko kanina ng Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. So with your permission, Madam Chair, Director...
Before that,
Secretary, one clarification lang. Ano yung dagdag?
Ano?
Bakit may dagdag pa? Nadagdagan pa ba yung 50 billion ng STARPAY?
Kaya nga po si Director Kat Ongoko po, papaliwanag niya kung bakit po na dagdagan yung from initial distribution ay after nung initial distribution po to the financial service providers, nakita po doon yung allocation ng ibang financial service providers na unang binigyan sila ng targets, but apparently ito na po yung nagiging challenges na data quality, yung iba walang mga cellphones. Kaya po dumaan po sa masusing assessment at nakita po namin ang kapabilidad ng STARPAY at ng RCBC na pwede nilang i-redistribute yung mga hindi po naservisyohan ng ibang financial service providers.
Madam
Okay,
Chair,
I'd like to recognize Senators Pangilinan and thereafter Senator Lacson, please.
Just very quickly, I just want to manifest. In fairness to Secretary Bautista, I was asking a question. I was not suggesting if that DSWD had a tie-up with PHARMALLY. So I was asking a question regarding STARPAY, specifically if there was, as raised earlier by Senator Pacquiao, how a company that was bankrupt or nearly bankrupt prior to COVID was able to secure, if I'm correct, if I heard it correctly, about 50 billion pesos worth of ayuda transactions. Yun lang ang point ko. And we'd like to be clarified. In fairness to Secretary Bautista. And thank you for that clarification. And hopefully, masagot yung tanong natin. I think it's a fair question, di ba? And should be answered precisely.
Thank you, Senator Kiko. Senator Lacson, please.
yes. Before we recognize the next speaker, this is not about Secretary Bautista. I have no reason to doubt his integrity, no? Pero yung tinanong ko kanina, yung Law, nag-conduct ba kayo ng due diligence dito? Kasi of course, it follows na kailangan mayroong technical capability, legal capability, financial capability. So would you know kung sino yung si Uy at saka sino si Lau? Out of curiosity lang, kasi these are very familiar surnames eh. Yun lang, Secretary Rolly. Thank you.
Yes. Madam Chair, Senator Lacson, I am not familiar with the name Uy and Lau. Madam Chair, Honorable Senator Lacson.
Yes, earlier, Director Ongoko mentioned that you relied on the BSP to provide a list of FSPs that would be qualified to do this. Is that correct? Maybe we can ask Director Ongoko. Ang BSP ba nagsabi nito?
Madam Chair, apo. Hindi po ang BSP ang nagbigay sa amin ng listahan. Sa katunayan po, nag-invite po kami sa as many other potential partner service providers po. Nag-send po kami ng letters sa mga organizations na mga bangko at pinagsama-sama po namin ang aming mga natanggap na mga proposals at nakatanggap po kami ng 7 na financial service provider proposals at mula po sa 7 na 6 lamang po ang nakapag-qualify po. At ayun po yung aming mga naging partner financial service providers.
So it's not correct that the BSP endorsed this STARPAY?
Yes, Madam Chairwoman. Apo.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Senator Pacquiao.
Ang sabi kanina, BSP ang nag-endorse sa STARPAY. Yung tinanong natin kung sino anong binabasihan nila. Kaya nakapagtanong ako na anong criteria ang binabasihan nila para para piliin nila yung STARPAY. Sabi nila by recommendation of BSP yung on the record kanina na sinabi. Tapos
yes.
Na sinabi na naman hindi na nirekomenda ng BSP. Ano po ang katotohanan dito?
Yes, Director Ongoko, please. You've made conflicting statements. Sabi mo recommended and endorsed by BSP. Kaya yung BSP bahagi nung MOA ninyo. Pero later, just now, ang sabi mo naman, humingi kayo ng mga proposal sa iba't ibang NGO, bangko at publiko. Ganun ba yun? Alin ba dyan?
Sige po, linawan lang po namin. Ang participation po ng Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas ay technical assistance po. Kung paano namin magagawa o maisa sa katuparan ang pagdidistribute ng ayuda through financial service providers. Pero ang listahan po o kung sino po ang financial service providers na sumali o nag-submit po sa amin ng proposal, yun po ay nagmula sa aming imbitasyon sa iba't ibang mga organisasyon para po mag-submit ng proposal po sa DSWD.
Madam Chair, sa sunod na tanong ko ay yung diniposito na pera from government bank to private bank doon sa pribadong bangko, yung para sa STARPAY, diniposito ito sa private bank. Yan po ba ay tama, Madam Chair? Sagot nila.
Yes, Director Wayne and Director Ongoko, can you answer that question? Nung refund, may binabanggit kayo at confirmed rin naman na nag-refund sila. Bakit binalik daw sa private bank? Director Wayne, andyan ka ba?
Madam Chair, ang tanong ko is yung pera na galing sa DSWD, diniposito doon sa pribadong bangko. Na mayroon man po tayong government bank, may yung land bank, mayroon pong bangko ang ating gobyerno, bakit doon diniretso sa private bank?
Madam Chair, may I respond, Madam Chair?
Yes, okay, Director Belisar.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Senator Pacquiao, for the question. Actually, Madam Chair, our servicing bank is Land Bank, and based on the memorandum of agreement with our FSPs, yung mga FSP po, I'd like to read the one part of the multilateral MOA, Section C.4. Nakalagay po dito that the FSP shall establish and maintain dedicated deposit accounts, non-interest bearing, for program fund with the LBP Batasan branch as and when applicable. So dito po sa provision na to, Madam Chairperson, dito namin po i-transfer ang mga sub-payroll na aming prinoseso na naka-assign po sa mga FSP. So in the case of StarPay, meron po siyang binuksan na non-interest bearing savings account sa Land Bank at doon po namin dinideposit lamang ang mga sub-payrolls na aming ina-assign po sa StarPay, Madam Chair. Thank you po.
Ang linawin ko lang dito, Madam Chair, yung pera na nadideposito doon sa private bank at natulog ito ng 10 buwan. 10 buwan sa pribadong bangko, siyempre may magkaroon ng interest yon at ang tanong ko saan napunta yung interest at bakit sa pribadong bangko? Anong proteksyon ng ating gobyerno kung na-deposito doon sa pribadong bangko? Yun po ang kailangan kong malinaw na sagot.
Yes, Director Wayne, are you able to answer?
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Inuulit ko po, Madam Chairperson, hindi po kami nagde-deposit sa isang private account na hindi po na-i-register sa amin. Ang ibinigay po na account sa amin ng StarPay ay land bank account po nila na non-interest bearing. Doon po kami nagde-deposit. At based on the MOA, dapat po ay agad nila itong gawan ng restricted transactional accounts.
I see. Director Wayne, are you saying you paid every FSP in full? Yung buong 50 billion, linipat sa land bank account ng StarPay?
Madam Chairperson, base po yan sa mga payroll na napaprocess namin. As soon as ma-process,
Madam Chair,
transfer sa account ng StarPay, Madam Chairperson.
so naniwala po kayo na sa land bank diniposito yung pera para sa ayuda, Madam Chair. Gusto ko lang masagot yan. Tama po ba?
So, ang pagkaalam ng DSWD, land bank ang dineposito sa land bank? Ganun ba yun?
Yes, Madam Chair. Base po sa aming pong record, sa land bank account po namin ito dinideposit. Lahat po ng mga napoprocess naming mga sub-payroll, social amelioration program, emergency subsidy, payroll, doon po sa account na ito ng land bank na ibinigay po sa amin base po sa multilateral MOA, Madam Chairperson.
Madam
Yes,
Chair,
Senator Pacquiao, Senator Lacson,
Madam
Senator
Chair,
Pacquiao. Yes,
gusto
please.
ko lang inawin yung na ang pagkaalam ng DSWD sa land bank diniposito yung pera, pero hindi po sa land bank dumiretso ang pera. 11 billion na punta sa pribadong bangko sa account ng StarPay, Madam Chair. So,
Alin pribadong bangko, Senator Pacquiao?
sinasabi ko lang pribadong bangko, Madam Chair, kasi baka pag binanggit ko, maapektuhan yung private bank. So,
I see.
pero kilala po natin yung private bank na yon at kilala po natin lahat. Wala pong hindi nakakilala doon sa private bank na yon. At doon diniposito yung pera na 11 billion, Madam Chair, and then ang pagkakaalam ng DSWD sa land bank diniposito. So, yan po ay napakalaking, alam niyo po, katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, na itong StarPay issue, mas malaki pa po ito doon sa PHARMALLY po. So tingin ko lang po yung sinasabi kanina ni Senator Lacson, yung StarPay na medyo questionable yung mga transaction, yung pagtanggap nila ng malaking bulto ng ayuda kumpara doon sa established na GCash, Paymaya at ano po yun? Yun po, yung GCash at saka Paymaya na napakadami na pong nakakaalam at nag-download na po niyan. Itong StarPay wala pa pong nakaalam. Kaya po ako talagang binubusisi ko po ito dahil napakalaki pong halaga ng napunta sa StarPay na ilang billion at hindi ko pa po alam kung napunta ba talaga ito sa mga beneficiaries, nakatanggap po talaga ito kung natanggap po talaga nila itong pera na ito na napakalaki. So yun po ang gusto kong bigyan linaw. Kasi magbibigay na naman tayo ng another budget para dito sa ayuda, sa DSWD na malaki, tapos hindi tayo nalilinawan sa pera ng ating bayan, pera ng gobyerno. So yun po ang kailangan nating malaman na diniposito sa land bank. Pero
Yes, Senator Lacson, please. Sorry, Senator
Yes.
Pacquiao.
Okay. Even assuming na sa land bank account pumasok yung magkano 6.4 billion pesos. Ang tanong ko doon sa nagsabi kanina, account ng DSWD o account ng STARPAY'S sa land bank? Even assuming na hindi sa private Kasi hindi malinaw Sinabi nila sa land bank pumasok yung pera. Pero kaninong account? Sa STARPAY? That's what you're saying?
Director Onggoco, kayo yata nagsabi kanina.
Kindly clarify.
Yes po. Pumasok po ang account na yun sa account po ng STARPAY. Pero ito po ay
That's
one
correct.
po.
Account ng STARPAY. So why are you saying na interest free? Ang alam ko, ang interest free, pag maliit na account ang papasok, say 200, 500 pesos, kasi pag pinasukan ng ayuda yan, lalabas din kagad yan, ang sinisigal lang ng bangko is service fee. Pero in this case, 6.4 billion pesos is definitely not a small amount. So nag-earn ng interest yan sa land bank. Ang tinatanong ni Senator Pacquiao, saan napunta yung interest?
Madam Chair, if I may respond.
Yes, please.
Apo. Ang mga pondo po ay pumasok sa non-interest-bearing accounts or ang tinatawag na reserve deposit accounts in compliance with Section 252 of Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas Manual of Regulations for Banks, Series of 2018. Ibig sabihin po dito, ito po yung mga bank accounts na nire-require po ng Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas para po sa kanilang mga reserve requirement. At ito pong mga ito, pursuant sa Section 252 ng BSP regulations, ay hindi po nag-earn ng interest. So yun po ang dahilan kung bakit...
Gusto ko lang malaman, Madam Chair, with the permission of Senator Lacson, yung alam niyo po ba yung pera ng STARPAY natulog ng 10 buwan doon sa pribadong bangko? Pribadong bangko po ito, hindi po ito government bank.
Madam Chair, insofar as I am concerned in the DSWD, we have no information of such po. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Senator Pangilinan?
Yes, Madam Chairperson, doon sa point lang ni Senator Pacquiao, with the indulgence of Senator Pacquiao, if these were public funds and they were deposited in a private account, I think we should know the name of the bank. Buti sana kung private funds yan, di sige, may secrecy of bank deposits, etc. Pero pondo ng gobyerno ang sinasabi po ninyo. So dapat siguro wala sigurong problema banggitin yung account, yung bank mismo, yung pangalan ng bangko. Kahit pribado pa siya, pondo ng gobyerno yun
Senator Pacquiao, would you like to reply?
Madam Chair, pwede ko banggitin yan sa executive session, pero wag siguro kasi for the protection of the bank, baka masira naman yung bangko.
Sige po. I would like to ask for clarification. Siguro hingan na lang natin both Director Onggoco and Director Wayne Belisar. Pwede bang ibigay sa amin yung listahan at yung breakdown ng lahat ng financial service providers, lahat ng FSP, sino bang binigyan ninyo at magkakano, saan diniposit, at saka, nung nag-refund, magkakano yung refund at anong date? Can you just give us that breakdown so that we clarify exactly what was happening last year?
Yes, Madam Senator, we will provide the Senate a copy of the requested documents.
Madam Chairperson?
Yes, Senator Binay,
Yes,
please.
just for additional submission, can you also include kung ano yung naging proseso, kung bakit yung X amount nabigay dun sa certain FSPs.
Yes, I wanted
Diba, what
to-
was the decision process? Was there a board that decided kung anong amount ang ibibigay dun sa 7 FSPs na nag-qualify dun sa criteria nyo?
Yes, actually, I was going to follow up if I would be allowed by Senator Pacquiao as well. May binanggit si Director Onggoco kanina na geographical allocation ang basis ng paghati-hati nitong pondong to. Ano ibig sabihin ng geographical allocation? Kasi hindi nga namin maintindihan kung sino pa yung grupong FSP na malaki, siya pa yung maliit ang binigay na bahagi. Ba't ganun?
Madam Chair, ang geographical allocation po ito po yung pinagtama na number of beneficiaries, target beneficiaries ng department, bawat lugar, at dito po namin kinonsidera kung ilan po ang mga payout outlets ng mga financial service providers. So pamamagitan po na yun.
Bakit nga StarPay ang naging pinakamalaking FSP dito sa Bayanihan 1?
Madam Chairperson.
StarPay
Madam
become the biggest
Chairperson.
one, considering that it's the smallest among all these FSPs we've heard of.
Madam Chairperson, siguro just to simplify your question, ano yung naging advantage ng StarPay over GCash?
Apo. Madam Chair, if I may respond.
Yes, please carry on.
Apo. Ang advantage po ng StarPay ay ang StarPay po at ang RCDBC lamang ang mayroong kakayanan at na makapagbigay ng ayuda kahit po sa ating mga mamamayan na wala pong mobile numbers. Ang GCash po ang orihinal na nagkaroon ng pinakamalaking number of target beneficiaries na dapat isi-serve. However, dahil ang ating pong GCash ay nag-express na hindi po nila kakayanin magbigay sa mga tao na wala pong mobile numbers, meron lamang pong 2 service providers po na nag-express ng kanilang kakayanan at willingness na tulungan ng DSWD. Yun po ang StarPay at RCBC. Ngunit ang RCBC po, meron din po siyang mga limitations po at base po dun sa geographical need po namin, hindi po din niya kaya. Kaya po ang allocation ng dapat mapunta sa RCBC, napunta din po iyon sa StarPay.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
maganda ito, Madam Chair, dahil pinili nila yung StarPay, pero doon sa agreement nila, in 7 days, ma-distribute ng StarPay ang budget na inallocate doon sa kanila in 7 days. Pero umabot na po ng 10 buwan, hindi po na-distribute ng StarPay lahat. Nagkaroon lang po sila ng downloads ng app na 800,000. Na supposedly, ang allocation sa kanila is nasa 6 million to 7 million beneficiaries. Umabot na ng 10 buwan, yung pagbibigay ng ayuda at hindi pa po tapos at binalik na lang po sa DSWD dahil hindi nakayanan. Yun po, kaya nila pinili yung StarPay. So, ang tanong ko, dahil pinagkatiwalaan niyo yung StarPay, bakit yun lang ang nagawa ng StarPay, hindi na-distribute lahat? Na samantala sa agreement ninyo with StarPay, 7 araw, 7 days. In 7 days, kung ano man yung matirang pera, kailangan mabalik agad sa DSWD. Pero bago na ibalik, 10 buwan mo na pagkatapos at hindi pa na ilan lang yung nabigyan. So yan po yung linawin natin kasi sikot-sikot tayo rito.
Madam Chairperson, just another point, just to pursue lang yung point, bakit ngayon lumalabas si StarPay hindi kailangan ng phone number? Pero kanina sinasabi nila na hindi ma-distribute ng tama kasi mali-mali yung phone number. So parang nalilita lang ako, Madam Chairperson.
In addition, bakit importante yung walang phone number? Malaki ba yun? Mas malaki ba yun kaysa sa mga may phone number? Kaya dapat yung mga walang, anong datos nun? Kasi pinakamalaki ang GCash in terms of yung kanilang merong mga cellphone. Bakit hindi kumuha sa GCash dun sa mga may telepono at kumuha sa StarPay dun sa wala? Bakit hindi ganun? Bakit puro StarPay?
Opo. Madam Chair, around 70% po ng aming target beneficiaries ang napag-alaman po namin na merong nailagay na numero pero mali po o kaya hindi po gumagana. So yun po yung around 70% po na yun po yung aming kinonsulta sa mga partner service providers namin kung sino po yung kayang mag-distribute ng ayuda. Ang dahilan po kung bakit nagre-require po kami ng mobile numbers, isa po ito sa naging sistema ng aming pagbibigay ng financial inclusivity at digitalized disbursement po ng mga ayuda po na amin pong nakuha ang ideya sa ating Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. So yun po ang dahilan kung bakit po kinailangan po namin ang 70% ay i-reallocate po sa mga willing at nag-volunteer po na financial service providers.
So yun yung sinasabing nadagdagan ang StarPay after the first allocation. Tama ba yun?
Yes, tama po, Madam Chair.
Yung StarPay at yung RCBC nadagdagan.
Tama po,
Sila
Madam.
ang sumasagot sa non-cellphone bearing beneficiary.
Tama po, Madam Chair.
Just for the heck of it, can I just ask, isn't it possible na StarPay put it in their land bank account na sinasabi ninyong non-interest bearing and reserve account according to the rules of the BSP, pagkatapos linipat doon sa private bank? Pwede ba yung mangyari?
Madam Chair, personally, I am not knowledgeable of that process po.
Madam Chair, may Director Wayne be recognized?
Yes, Director Wayne, could that have happened? It got moved from the land bank account, it just landed there for a second and got transferred out dun sa private bank na binabanggit ni Senator Pacquiao.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chairperson. So, as had been mentioned by Director Katongoko, part of the considerations why we gave allocations to our FSPs is because of their payout partners throughout the country. So we can only assume that these FSPs have their partnership agreements with various money remittance center, etc. Na kung saan yun ang parang last mile nila na partner that would be able to provide subsidy aside from their own branches. So in that case, Madam Chair, it is really possible because before our beneficiaries could receive the subsidy, the emergency subsidy from these payout partners, it is essential that our FSP partners should transfer the cash to their payout partners to service our beneficiaries. However, Madam Chairperson,
So you're admitting, Director Wayne, you're admitting that there is a possibility or perhaps that it was necessary for StarPay to move government money out of the land bank, a qualified depository, to a private bank in order to pay out. Is that correct? Because there seems to be a deficiency in the process.
It's a possibility, Madam Chair, so that their payout partners can actually service our sub-beneficiaries. But then I'd like to clarify, Madam Chair, that this is also defined by the MOA. There has to be a time frame within which the payout can be conducted, because in the MOA,
what is the time frame established by the MOA, please?
Yes, ma'am. Let me just read this portion of the multilateral MOA, where we say that the FSPs will submit to DSWD the detailed and certified liquidation documents, such as the list of the beneficiaries with successful and unsuccessful credits.
What's
and
the time frame?
Uncredited program funds within 7 working days.
Yes, that's what Senator Pacquiao said. 7 days naging 10 months.
Madam Chair,
Clearly you did not enforce your own MOA.
Madam Chair, there are refunds. As I've said, the refund started to come in August. And
Yes, but you said that you're getting refunds even in June 25 of this year. That's way past 7 days, Director.
that's correct, Madam Chair, but also the disbursement were not done on a one-time basis. There were multiple, for example, for StarPay, we had 290 payrolls that we processed for StarPay. So these were disbursed in July until December 2020, Madam Chair. So
That's why we're requesting the information. Well, when did DBM give you the funds? When did you give them? And how much to each of these FSPs? At which, when the 7-day period told, how much did they refund on which days?
yes, Madam Chairperson, these information are available and we can provide.
Okay. Are there any further questions, Senator Pacquiao?
Yes, Madam Chair, gusto ko lang pong itanong din, dahil nakadeposito ng matagal sa pribadong bangko ang bilyon-bilyong pera na para sana sa ayuda na maraming nagutuman, yun pong interest noon, sino pong nakinabang? Gusto ko lang pong maitanong. Dahil,
ang sabi din ni Rector Onggoco kanina, walang interest daw yon.
No po, sa pribadong bangko. Sa
Ibang
pribadong bangko
usapan
po.
yan. Director, you may want to answer. Director Wayne or Director Onggoco.
Yes, Madam Chairperson. So, in fact, Madam Chairperson, we are only talking to our FSPs. So, if there are agreements between the FSP partners that we have and their payout partners, that's a third-party agreement, Madam Chairperson, and we actually do not have knowledge of those the terms and conditions that they have in case they have entered into partnership agreement with their payout partners, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, I just want to hear from them na gusto ko lang marinig na yung clarification sa pamahagi ng StarPay, dahil 800,000 lang yung naka-download, samantalang may mga ibang ano dyan, like GCash, Paymaya, GCash, ang daming nakakapag-download ng app na yan. Dito sa StarPay, 800,000 lang. Anong way na distribute nila yung ibang funds? Kasi based on the record, sinabi nyo kanina na 8 billion yung binalik ng StarPay sa DSWD. So, paano na-distribute yung ibang pera doon sa ating mga kababayan na nangangailangan, na samantalang hindi naman nila ma-receive yung pera na kung wala silang na-download na app doon sa StarPay. And based on the record, nasa mga more or less 800,000 lang yung nakapag-download. So yun lang yung makatanggap ng ayuda. So anong ginawa? Gusto ko lang pong malaman kung ano yung ginawa ng StarPay para maibigay yung ibang ayuda doon sa ibang mga beneficiaries.
Madam Chair, may Director Kat Onggoco be recognized.
Yes, Director Onggoco.
Yes po, Madam Chair. Gusto lang po naming linawin na ang proseso ng pagda-download ng application ng StarPay ay hindi lamang po ang paraan para makareceive po sila ng ayuda. Maaari rin po sila makareceive ng ayuda through the conduct of mobile payouts po ng StarPay. Yun po yung ginamit na paraan para makapagbigay po sila ng assistance sa mga wala pong mobile phones. So ito pong proseso na ito, nagpunta po ang StarPay sa mga lugar para po doon po magpamigay po ng mga ayuda sa ating mga beneficiaries.
Senator Pacquiao, with all due respect, I think there are other senators who have questions. However, I think it's essential that DSWD respond to the queries of Senator Pacquiao kasi mukhang pwede talagang mangyari na milyones o hundreds of thousands ang kinita ng StarPay. Sa interest pa lamang yon. Hindi pa tayo nakakasigurado kung ano nangyari, bakit 8 billion o 11 billion pala. Nagiging masyado yatang magulo na yung kwenta nito at gusto namin malaman kung yung DSWD, kung kailanganin pa ng ayuda sa susunod na taon, abay babalik na naman ba tayo sa senaryong ganyan o nakapaglinis na kayo ng listahan?
Ang ibig ko lang sabihin, Madam Chair, ito
yes.
isa din sa mga katanungan ko. Yung StarPay gumamit ng M-Loiler at saka Western Union, which is naging proseso niyan manual din. Naging manual din siya. So, kaya naman tayo gumamit siguro. Ang pagkakaalam ko, kaya gumamit ang ating DSWD ng pamimigay ng gumamit ng StarPay para po mapabilis at hindi na po maging manual yung pamimigay. Pero dito po, ang StarPay gumamit po ng Employer at Western Union at ang masakit po doon, yung mga beneficiary na kumukuha, may kaltas po sila. May kaltas na tag 50 pesos. So kung itutal mo yung 50 pesos na yon na kaltas, magkano na naman yung halaga no na nawawala na pera? Kung ilang milyon yung nabigyan ng beneficiary. Yun ang isa sa mga tanong ko na kailangan din masagot dahil sayang yung pera na iginaltas 50 pesos per beneficiary na nag-claim. At nangyari, kung manual lang pala yung distribution ng pera, bakit kaya din naman ng DSWD yan Kaya naman ng DSWD din. Bakit doon pa natin idadaan, di ba? Yun yung ano ko, gusto ko lang malinawan kasi.
Sige. Okay, I think we'll have to wind down there, but perhaps we can get an answer from DSWD.
Yes,
Physical payout rin pala, hindi naman na digital transaction ang ending. Bakit pa binigay sa StarPay at kinaltasan pa ng $50 each?
Madam Chair, may ASEC Glenda be recognized.
ASEC Glenda, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, initially po talaga, di ba, we intended na mapabilis to through the FSPs. However, there were challenges nga po like yun pong wala silang mga mobile number. And for those without mobile number, hindi po ma-e-effect ang ating digital payment. So kaya po nagkaroon tayo ng manual payout because we really need to pay these beneficiaries at i-validate po sila, ibalik na naman yung mga datos sa ating po mga field offices, ganun din sa mga LGU. At wala pong means para po makontak sila through digital payment. Kaya po nagkaroon po tayo ng manual payment. So, at kaya din po, isa din sa mga rason kung bakit natagalan, yun nga pong pag-validate. Dahil nga po minsan, pagka po ang pangalan nila ay magkaiba sa ID nila at iba din po yung na-upload ng ating mga LGU. So, any discrepancy po, hindi po talaga mabibigay. So, yan po, maire-return po uli yan sa DSWD Field Office. Ibabalik po uli namin yan sa LGU para po itong si Juan de la Cruz ay ito ba talaga yung Juan de la Cruz na ito. So in this process po, in-ensure po talaga ng DSWD na yung tao dapat na makareceive ay siya po yung makareceive through validation po ng correct and accurate data para po ma-disburse po namin ang pondo ng naaayon po sa ating mga guidelines at judiciously po naming ma-handle ang funds, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, isa na lang bago ako mag-closing statement.
Yes, please.
Okay, yes, ang tanong ko lang po para malinawan po tayo yung interest po ng pera na dideposito sa pribadong bangko po. Saan po napunta?
Hindi daw nila alam eh.
Mayroon po akong alam at information na ebidensya po na ang interest po ng pera na yun sa bangko, sa private bank is umaabot po ng more or less 200 million po. Gusto ko lang pong maitanong kung saan napunta po yon.
Yes, Director Belisar, Director Ongoco, Secretary, please.
Madam Chair, Honorable Senator Pacquiao, katulad na po ng sinabi kanina, hindi po kami aware dun sa yung amount na binanggit nyo na 200 million. Dahil po ang kausap po namin, ayon na rin po ito sa ating MOA, na yung mga FSP po ang ating kausap. At kung ano man po yung usapin ng ating FSP sa ibang bangko ay hindi na po aware ang DSWD sa punto na po iyon, Madam Chair, Senator Manny Pacquiao.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Gusto ko lang pong naniniwala ako sa kakayahan ng ating Secretary, DSWD. And I'm hoping na actionan itong ginawa ng STARPAY na sinasabi ng DSWD, hindi nila alam na diniposito sa pribadong bangko. Ang alam nila nasa land bank lang.
Okay.
So, naway mabigyan ito ng linaw, Madam Chair, at ma-actionan ng DSWD dahil sa ginawa itong STARPAY, at hindi ako titigil hanggat hindi managot itong STARPAY sa ginawa nilang pagmanipula dito sa pera ng ating mga kababayan, at hindi pa naibigay talaga lahat at nagbalik pa sila ng malaking pera, malaking halaga na dapat mapakinabangan ng ating mga kababayan. Yun po ang masakit doon, Madam Chair. And also, Madam Chair, for my closing statement, tinatawagan ko ang Commission on Audit para busisiin ang mga ayuda na pinamahagi ng DSWD sa mga FSP at EMI, lalo na sa STARPAY na siyang nakakuha ng bulto-bultong ayuda. Dapat nating malaman kung sino ang may kasalanan sa delay ng distribution ng ayuda. Tinatawagan ko rin ang Bangko Sentral at Anti-Money Laundering Council na imbestigahan ang ginawang pagdeposito ng perang para sa ayuda sa private bank account ng STARPAY. Alamin din natin kung paano nagamit sa mga pribadong transaksyon ng STARPAY ang pundo para sa mga nagugutom at naghihintay nating mga kababayan. Tinatawagan ko rin ang pamunuan ng isang pribadong bangko na makipagtulungan para malinawan ang lahat ng tungkol sa bank account ng STARPAY. Ito ay para malaman natin kung sino ang kinakailangan may kinakailangan baguhin sa ating banking laws para hindi na maulit ang ganitong mga pagsasamantala sa ating gobyerno. May nabalitaan tayo na nag-file na ng suspicious transaction reports ang pribadong bangko sa AMLA laban sa STARPAY. Ano na kaya ang resulta ng investigasyon ng AMLA na yan? So yan po ang inaabangan natin. Madam Chair, gusto ko lang malinaw dahil nandito ako, klaruhin ko lang, nandito po ako para sa sambayan ng Pilipino, para sa mga tao, para maprotektahan ang para sa taong bayan. Maraming salamat, Madam Chair, at sa lahat ng mga resource persons.
Thank you very much, Senator Pacquiao, and we urge the DSWD to provide the information requested regarding the FSPs, how much was paid by the DSWD to each one, nabayaran ba silang lahat in full despite the refunds, when were the refunds made, and what is the status even of these amounts in the field offices as downloaded. Thank you very much, Senator Lacson. If you have any questions, I think you logged in immediately after Senator Pacquiao.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, Chairperson. Before I proceed to ask my questions on budget-related policy issues, gusto ko lang balikan yung dalawang hanging issues na naiwan ni Senator Pacquiao, at least two. Sinabi ni Director Ongoco kanina na the reason why they engaged the services of STARPAY kasi they found out that only 30% ang kayang maservisan ng GCash, yung digital, at yung 70% hindi kaya kasi most of them or 70% of the beneficiaries either walang mobile phones or defective, can you confirm that?
Madam Chair, may Director Ongoco be recognized?
Yes, Director.
Apo. For the information of the August body, nauna po naming nakuha yung aming target beneficiaries bago po kami nakipag-engage with STARPAY at nagkaroon po ng geographical allocation. So, nauna po namin nalaman, yes po, Mr.
That is
Senator.
correct. You found out that yung GCash, yung digital distribution, ang kaya lang nilang ma-accomplish 30% because 70% either walang mobile phones or defective yung mobile phones. Is that correct?
No, Mr. Senator. We would like to correct that 70% and the 30% po ay corresponds to the totality of the target beneficiaries po. Ibig sabihin na pag-distribute na po namin ito sa mga 6 na financial service providers. So out of the
So na-engage nyo na yung services ng mga 6 financial providers, then you found out na 70% ang wala mobile phones.
yes po, tama po.
Okay. Anyway, if you found out that 70% ang wala mobile phones or defective yung mobile phones, ba't hindi nyo na lang gamitin yung workforce ng DSWD or even LGU? Ba't kailangan mag-engage pa tayo ng, of course, ito, sinabi mo nga nauna yung pag-engage ninyo. Hindi na kayo makapag-adjust na gagamitin nyo pa rin yung STARPAY and other financial providers in spite of the inadequacy ng mga beneficiaries?
Yes, Madam Chair. Ninais pa rin po ng DSWD na matugunan po yung kung paano mapapabilis yung pagbibigay namin ng ayuda. At nung nagtanong po kami base po sa aming meeting with the BSP, with the 6 financial service providers, ang RCBC at ang STARPAY po ay nagmungkahi na kaya po nilang makapagbigay ng ayuda kahit sa mga tao na wala pong mobile numbers. Kaya po kami nag-proceed na magbigay at mag-assign ng beneficiaries po sa kanila ayon po sa kanilang kakayanan at ang kanilang willingness to still distribute the subsidy po kahit po sa mga walang mobile numbers. Ngunit mayroon din po kaming mga paraan para sa DSWD. Later on, naging mix na rin po ang aming mga pagdidistribute ng ayuda. Nag-distribute po through the special disbursing officers po ng mga field offices. Yun nga lang po, talagang limited po ang capacity ng DSWD dahil meron pa rin po kaming other programs po na ini-implement po namin kasabay po ng social amelioration program.
Yes, with the permission of Senator Lacson, hindi ba pwede yung payout partners, kausapin na lang ng DSWD ng diretso, wag ng STARPAY? Babagsak rin pala sa Luwilier at saka sa Western Union.
Yeah, correct.
Opo. Actually, naging konsiderasyon po namin iyan doon po sa aming initial discussions with the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Yun nga lang po, na i-advise po sa amin na ang ating tinatawag na liquidity ng mga remittance centers ay maaaring hindi kasing liquid ng ating mga financial service providers or electronic money issuers na tinatawag. Konsiderasyon din po yung dami ng tao kada araw na bibigyan po ng ayuda at yung posibilidad na bawat remittance centers po ay kakailanganing i-partner po ng DSWD which is not advisable po nung time na po na iyon. So marami pong considerations, isa po iyon ang mga remittance centers pero dahil po ang aming tinatawag na financial inclusivity at ang tinatawag po namin na restricted transactional accounts, para po mas magamit pa po ng aming mga beneficiaries ang kanilang mga accounts, hindi po kami nag-rely lamang sa mga kakayanan ng ating remittance centers, kundi mas siniguro po namin na mas magagamit pa ng ating beneficiaries ang kanilang restricted transactional accounts po.
Sa madaling salita, naging reactive po tayo. Sa halip na meron tayong magandang pagpaplano, na inalam mo na natin kung ilan yung talagang mayroong capability na gumamit ng mobile phones, nahuli tayo. Nalaman lang natin nung nagdi-distribute na. Ganun po ang nangyari dito. Dapat na una yung pagpaplano natin, inalam mo na natin ilang porsyento ba ang wala na mobile phones o defective na mobile phones bago tayo nag-engage ng services ng financial service providers. Hindi po ba? Ang bottom line is poor planning.
Yes, Mr. Senator, naging konsiderasyon po namin iyon. At na-inform po kami na mayroong mga numbers, pero nung chinek po namin kung kaya po nilang i-convert sa isang restricted transaction accounts, hindi po yun nangyari para sa 70% po ng aming target.
Okay. Anyway, sabi nga namin sa military, lesson learned in combat. Next time, magplano muna tayo mabuti bago tayo mag-engage ng service providers para hindi tayo nagkakabuhol-buhol sa pag-implementa. Thank you, Madam Chairman. Next point, something doesn't add up, kasi sinabi ni Director Belisar, ang latest sa datos nila, andito 717,372 out of 761,000. Sabay na yan ito, Madam Chairperson. Out of 761,259, ito na yung physical accomplishments, meaning nabigyan na ng ayuda ito, no? And that would constitute 94.23%. This is as of 31 August 2021. Anyway, sabi niya kanina, as of today.
80% lang obligated eh.
Yes, 80%. Hindi, 94% yung physical accomplishment. Hindi ko ito ma-reconcile doon sa 80.48% na obligation rate. Paano nangyaring ang physical accomplishment under Binahan 2 nasa 94+% na, samantalang yung disbursement rate, no? Disbursement over obligation 99% of 80.48%. So paano natin ito ma-reconcile na yung physical accomplishment napakataas samantalang yung obligation rate o yung disbursement rate napakababa? Kindly clarify. At saka sinabi niya kanina, as of today, 1.265 something billion out of the 6.4 billion, pero sa datos lumalabas as of 31 August 2021. So paki-clarify lang.
Madam Chair, Your Honor, may Director Belisar be recognized.
Yes, Director Wayne.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chairperson, and thank you, Mr. Senator, for the question. Before I answer the last question, may I just be allowed, Madam Chair, to add to what Attorney Ongoko had mentioned as to why we needed to push through with the FSPs in spite of the fact that we later found out that there were no mobile phone numbers, mostly coming from our beneficiaries. Ang 2 points lang po, Madam Chairperson. Ang una po, hindi na po kami inalaw na magpatuloy na magbayad through the local government units. So we needed to execute another strategy. So
Who did not allow you? Who did not allow you to distribute through the LGUs?
There was a directive from the Office of the President for us not to
Why?
do the payout.
Why? Di ba mas efficient kung ginamit yung LGU? Why were you directed by the Office of the President not to course the distribution through the local government units? Why? Is that to pave the way for the engagement of STARPAY?
Is there a memo or a letter or an LOI that indicated that you are prohibited from doing so?
Madam Chairperson? And is there another memo allowing them? Kasi ngayon ginagamit na nila yung manual payout, di ba? Dahil nag-refund nga itong mga FSPs. So is there another memo saying na pwede na?
Madam Chair, may
Yes, Secretary Galvez, please.
be recognized, Madam Chair.
Secretary Bautista, please. Is that ASEC Glenda?
Yes.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes, we're a little bit confused about this prohibition to LGUs because yung sumunod, puro LGU naman.
Yes, Madam Chair. Remember that the first tranche were conducted by the LGU, and apparently during the second tranche, there were some cases filed regarding some of the local officials who handled the SAP funds not well. So there were cases filed by the CIDG, and I believe we can submit the number of those parang officials filed na nakapag-file po ng cases ang DILG. And also on the second tranche po kasi, some of the LGUs have not yet liquidated. So in such doing, we cannot transfer funds to them. So kaya po the DSWD find a different strategy, as well as there are parang TV announcement po that we cannot engage anymore with the local government units, and specifically we were mandated to partner with the AFP or PNPs, pero hindi rin po possible because we cannot transfer fund with them. So yun nga po yung limitation ng DSWD in terms of the number of the SDO po namin, because sabay-sabay po yung mga programa namin na nagpe-pay out po kami. So some of the SDOs have not yet liquidated din po. So kaya po talagang we really have to partner with the FFPs during that time.
And
Yes,
the
Senator
reason,
Lacson, was that satisfactory
and the
po?
reason why yung LGU nagkaroon ng problema, kasi yung data na ginamit ninyo out of date. You know, when we were discussing Bayanihan 1, I think some of the senators, including myself, you know, raised that issue. Why are we using a 2015 census ng PSA? Masyado matagal na yon kasi 2021 na tayo, hindi pa na-update. So anong nangyari sa mga LGUs? Because hindi na nagtatama yung need ng kanilang constituents, especially barangay chairman, because we were able to talk to some of them. Ang ginawa nila is they gathered their constituents and agreed among themselves, okay, since merong hindi kasama sa listahan na galing sa central office ng DSWD na kailangan bigyan natin ngayon kasi nawala na ng trabaho, at yung iba naman, konkreto na yung mga bahay na nakalista pa rin, kinausap nila kung pwedeng i-redistribute na lang yung 5,000 to 8,000 pesos. So, yung iba, nareklamo tuloy sila dahil hindi sila sumunod sa listahan because they wanted to adapt to the situation on the ground. So, we cannot fault the LGUs dahil nga out of date yung inyong data na binigay. So, nagkaloko-loko ito sa baba. Anyway, Madam Chairperson, kindly answer my second question, si Director Belisar, yung tungkol sa hindi nag-add up yung inyong mga datos tungkol sa physical accomplishment versus obligation rate or disbursement rate.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Madam Chairperson. So, for Bayanihan to, Madam Chairperson, we have three components po dito na mga beneficiaries. Ang una po, Madam Chairperson, ay yung ating pong mga beneficiaries sa granular lockdown. Yung pangalawa po, Madam Chairperson, yun pong mga waitlisted na hindi po nabayaran, hindi po naka-receive ng kanilang emergency subsidy sa Bayanihan 1. At ang pangatlo po, Madam Chairperson, yung pong mga beneficiaries natin na binigyan ng livelihood assistance grants. Ngayon po, Madam Chairperson, almost 100% ano po tayo, na-meet po natin 100% yung ating pong target sa livelihood assistance grants. No? And ang hindi po natin na-meet na prospective target ay yung ating pong tinarget sa mga granular lockdown. As we are aware, Madam Chairperson, yung ating pong Bayanihan 2 ay effective lang po hanggang June 30, 2021 as extended. And therefore, yung mga hindi po nakaabot doon po sa pag-declare ng granular lockdown, ito po yung hindi po na-disburse na component po ng Bayanihan 2 funds na in the amount of 6 billion, Madam Chairperson. Kaya po malaki ang physical accomplishment precisely because of the livelihood assistance grant. Subalit po doon sa ating mga target, doon sa granular lockdown ay hindi po natin na-meet yung expected target, Madam Chairperson.
Yes, I'm sorry, but Director Belisar did not answer my question. I'm only dealing with the numbers, no, that they submitted. Maliwanag po rito sa kanilang submission We're talking of apples to apples here, no? Bayanihan 2. Physical targets, 761,259. Physical accomplishments, 717,372. And therefore, the rate of accomplishment, meaning yung mga nabigyan, 94.23. Now, here comes their obligation and disbursement data, no? Bayanihan 2, disbursement rate, nasa 99.23%, over obligation rate of 80.48%, meaning 20% yung hindi na naabot, ano? Yung gap, ano? 20%. So paano ito magre-reconcile do sa physical accomplishment na 94.23%? I'm only dealing with the numbers. I don't want to hear the different faces. Google ang usapan natin dito. And this is your submission, ha?
Yes,
Hindi namin
Director Wayne, you may,
in-invent itong numero.
perhaps Director Wayne, you'd like to revise that because there's a 14% differential. Ang laki eh.
Malaki. At saka hindi pa yon. Ang sinabi niya kanina, as of today.
Ayun
Hindi
nga.
ito as of today. As of August 31 ito, 2021. Hindi as of today. Kasi sabi niyo, daily, on the daily basis, nag-a-adjust kayo. But it appears that the figures that you mentioned, as of August 31. So lahat hindi nagre-reconcile.
Yes,
Yes, Director Wayne, please. Medyo nalilito kami dyan. Kanina nalilito kami sa mga pondo na rinifund. Ngayon, we don't understand the status of the Bayanihan 2 also.
Yeah, Madam Chairperson, kasi po yung ating bayanihan 2 po ay hanggang June 30 lang po, kaya usually hindi na po ito gumagalaw. So even until today, ganun pa rin po yung figures natin, Madam Chairperson.
I don't think that's the issue eh. The issue is this discrepancy between the numbers served versus the amount disbursed.
Yes po, Madam Chairperson, yung pong hindi po na-obligate dyan, yung doon po yun po yung funds na naka-allocate para sa ating granular lockdown, Madam Chairperson. Kasi yung atin pong inalat dyan is 4.75 billion pesos. Pero po ang atin pong na-obligate lang ay 3.736 billion at ang atin pong na-disburse ay 3.7 billion lang po. Kaya po yung atin pong obligation rate para po sa granular lockdown at saka sa waitlisted is nasa 78.66%. And yung disbursement rate naman po ay 99.12%.
Yes,
Yan po yung
Mr. Lacson, I think that's still not the answer because you were able to distribute to 94% of the people, but you only gave 80% of the budget. We still don't
Exactly,
get-
Madam Chair. Exactly.
Yes. Senator Lacson, paano ba yun? So Director Wayne, maybe you can give us in greater detail the status of Bayanihan 2 because your numbers simply don't tally.
Yes, Madam Chair, I just don't have the physical target figure here. I just have the financial figures.
Your chart indicates actual, not targets.
Well, we have the physical
Accomplishment.
figures here eh. Hindi lang financial. Ito nga, kinompare ko na nga eh. Nag-adjust pa kayo ng target? May adjustment kayong ginawa sa target ninyo, yung physical target, kaya hindi nagkaroon ng reconciliation itong mga data.
Madam Chair, Your Honor, may Director Hannah Garcido be recognized?
Sure. Director Hannah, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Pwedeng laksan konti.
Yes, Madam Chair. Hello.
Yes, we hear you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, to respond po to the question of the Honorable Senator Lacson, on the Bayanihan 2 po,
Tama po sir, we adjusted our targets to consider po yung binanggit po kanina about granular lockdown sir. We only targeted the actual names po submitted by the local government units and supported po by the necessary certification from the local IATF. Kaya po yung aming physical targets sa Bayanihan 2 corresponds to the actual names submitted to us by the LGUs.
Okay, so you adjusted the targets, ano, physical targets. Ano yung original na number ninyo? From 761, ano yung original?
For a while, Mr. Chair. Madam Chair.
Yes, please.
Yes, ma'am. For Bayanihan 2 po, the potential target that we have is around 900,000 beneficiaries.
Exact figure, please.
It's ano sir, 855,597. This is as of January 13, Your Honor.
Kindly repeat, naputol.
855,597 as of January 13, 2021. And if you may note, Mr. Chair, this number po must be supported by the necessary certification from the local IATF.
So hindi tama itong nakasulat dito na yung target 761. Lumobo to sa 855.
Madam Chair, if
Yun
I
ang original physical target nila. In-adjust nila, ginawan 761. So kaya tumaas yung kanilang physical accomplishment rate. So if ang original nila 855,557 at ang na-servicean nila 717,000, 83% actually yung kanilang physical accomplishment. Tama po ba yun, Director?
Yes, Your Honor. That's correct po.
Yeah. So parang hindi pa rin tama dito sa 80.48% na obligation rate. Hindi pa rin eksakto.
Hindi pa rin siya tama eh.
Ayan po. And if
Anyway,
I may...
Madam Chairperson, if I may, I'd like to yield to the next interpellator kasi meron lang po akong meeting. And kung hindi ako kasi wala pa ako sa policy questions, baka pwede makahirit pa ng isang hearing. Anyway, they will submit pa naman eh.
That's correct. There's so much information being requested of the DSWD. We hear the suggestion of Senator Lacson that we defer this budget for another hearing.
Yes, para lang makapag-ready rin sila sa mga susunod na tanong sa policy issues. You know, I counted with my fingers yung excluding the SAP, yung Bayanihan 1 and Bayanihan 2 programs. Nasa mga 16 ang kanilang mga recurring programs. 16 programs. Ang gusto ko lang malaman, nagseserve pa ba ng purpose? Itong mga programa na ito kasi I'd like to find out when the 4Ps, for example, was first launched. And then hanggang ngayon, nasa 4Ps pa rin tayo. Mukhang ilan na yung nakagraduate, ilan na yung under pa ng program. Ito yung mga questions para lang mapagandaan ni Secretary Rolly. Ito more or less dito na lang iikot yung mga tanong ko sa susunod. So with that, I'd like to yield to the next interpellator, Madam Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Senator Lacson. I don't see Senator Angara. Is he around? Senator Angara or Senator Cayetano then? I see Pia. Yes, we recognize Senator Angara. Senator Cayetano, I'm sorry.
If our chairman comes, I'll be happy to yield the man. But until then, I can proceed with my questions. These are policy questions, Madam
Great.
Chairperson. So I leave it up to the Secretary. Good morning, sir. To if you have other USECs or directors who can assist us in the questions, in the answers to the questions I have. Let me just pull up my file. Madam Chair, as you probably know, my one of my key advocacies is adoption and foster care, no, and we just in the Senate our adoption bill. Mr. Secretary, I'd like to know if you are ready, because we would like to make a amendment to propose additional budget for the plantilla positions that would be needed, because even without this new law that we hope will be bill that will be signed into law soon, this is the comprehensive adoption, the domestic adoption law, that will give DSWD the personnel that they need to really handle the situation of a lot of children who do not have homes. Even before this bill was passed, you will recall I had an initial discussion with you some time ago that we really need to beef up the plantilla of DSWD to enable them to perform their jobs, because the DSWD personnel handling the cases of children that need to be placed in homes, yung ina-assess yung kanilang situation and then matching it with a pre-cleared parent, whether it's foster care or adoptive parent, those same personnel are also pulled out to do all the other work, yung mga pag may ayuda, pag may calamity. So we've already addressed that in this bill, no? Henceforth, there will be a separate division to handle this. But until then, there's a transition period, sir, of 3 years from the signing of the law. So DSWD will still be in charge. So I'd like to equip you with the more personnel to be able to do that. So sir, could you talk to your team and then in the next meeting, come up with a proposed budget? Kasi when I proposed a budget, I'm not sure if it was I'm having my staff check if it was last budget or 2 budget seasons ago. The detailed budget also came naman from DSWD. Kayo naman din ho ang inaasahan ko to provide those details of the plantilla personnel you need, both on the regional and in the head offices. So we've already done this, and it's basically just repeating the process to ensure that we can take care of more children, sir. So just a quick response lang na can you assign a team to handle this immediately, and to also give us an assessment, sir, of the the progress that you've made. Kasi unless na FLR yon, which I'm not aware, supposed to be better equipped na yung team nyo to handle these children who need homes.
Madam Chair, Madam Senator, may ASEC Glenda Relova be recognized?
Yes, ASEC Glenda, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Senator, for this a new bill, would-be bill. So we welcome this initiative from the DSWD. So upon learning that it has been approved by the Senate, si ICAB po, nagawa na po siya ng proposed organizational structure as well as posting po ng possible plantilla position that we will be needing. And we will be having a transition team. Tama po yung sinabi ni Senator Cayetano na it has a 3 years transition period. And there are some plantilla positions po sa amin sa DSWD, specifically yung aming adoption referral unit po. So, pero syempre hindi naman po compulsory talaga na po pwede nating i-transfer doon. Depende din po kasi kung kagustuhan ng ating mga empleyado. Though, most of alternative care services po ng DSWD will now be transferred to the NACC and then the reorganized ICAB. So we will be conferring with ICAB as well as our Program Management Bureau, and will provide the Senator a draft proposal po as to the organizational structure as well as plantilla position cost po na mag-entail po within the 3-year period po nitong ating NACC. Thank you, Madam Chair and Senator Cayetano.
Thank you, thank you. Actually, I see ICAB Executive Director Attorney Abejo here. And I'm glad to know that things have been moving forward. I'm very happy to hear that. And for the record, Secretary, my staff reminded me that I included the budget for personnel for both the 2020 and the 2021 budget. So like I said, even without that law, in particular have already been pushing to strengthen that area of your department, sir, so that you could perform your services better. So I don't know if that can be included in this update. Ano ba? Nag-improve ba tayo? Kasi in terms of the number of children that were placed up for adoption, parang wala namang change. So ano ba nangyari doon?
Madam Chair, may ASEC Glenda be recognized.
Yes, ASEC, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, yun pong additional personnel po nung 2020, na-hire na po yun, and it has a very significant effect po sa aming adoption. However, with the pandemic po, some of the cases po talaga hindi po masyadong nagmo-move because of the mobility din po, restriction in movement po ng ating mga personnel. However, yun po mga desk work nila mas napabilis din po. So we would like to thank Madam Senator Cayetano for that initiative po.
Okay, sige. Let's keep it short kasi para we can thank you for that. Pero pwede mag-double time. Like ngayon actually for most of 2021, maybe with the exception of March and August where talagang medyo lockdown tayo, open naman, di ba? In fact, vital services are not meant to be restricted. So those are considered essential services, yung pagpe-place ng bata sa home. So konting naman, Secretary, could you oversee this na konting dagdag effort naman tayo because these are children who, you know, I have an adopted child. He's 11 years old now, and my heart breaks to think of all these children who are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 15, 18, and they never had a home. They become adults in these residential homes and they never had a mother and a father. That's what we lose every day of our life na hindi natin to nagagawa. Yes, we all recognize the restrictions that COVID has brought upon us. Pero sir, anuhin naman natin, no? Let's make it a priority. Diba? In the same way na gusto natin makarating yung ayuda, we want these children to find a home. And even before this bill becomes a law, the best thing we can do is provide money for funding, right? And we've done it. So, pakitutukan naman po, sir, kasi it also requires for people to know about it, no? And I remember mga 2-3 years ago before COVID, talagang in one of the budget hearings, sabi natin na we will be proactive about promoting this in the LGU levels because it's the LGUs, and especially with devolution, it's really the LGUs that will really be in the forefront of knowing where are these children that need to be put in homes, who are these potential foster care and adoptive parents. So I won't ask you anymore now for the plan because of the Mandanas ruling, because I know that even prior to the Mandanas ruling, this is already a function that should be devolved. You just have the national agencies and the regional offices to oversee everything, but you need to partner with the local the LGUs to really identify the children in need and the homes that are willing to accommodate them.
Yes, Madam Senator, we will comply. Rest assured, Madam Senator, that that will be a priority on our side, and we will submit maybe an assessment or your perusal and reference for the next meeting, Madam Chair, Madam Senator.
And then po, Mr. Secretary, information campaign, di ba, na nakikita sa mga social media pages na there are thousands of children in need of a home. You know, despite the pandemic, they still need a home. Who are the parents out there who have a big heart? Yung mga ganun ba? Para to bring back that consciousness na hindi naman nagkaroon ng parents itong mga batang to just because of the pandemic, di ba? So, ibalik yung awareness that we need to place them in homes. We need parents to come out and volunteer to be their parents, whether temporary through foster care or permanent through adoption, sir. Okay? I'll go on to my next point, Madam Chair.
Yes, of course, Senator Cayetano. And yes, I do hope that they're more proactive and ratchet up the speed at which we execute these programs.
Thank you. Madam Chairperson, I think you will join me, or we have together expressed this concern that during the pandemic, the number of adolescent and teen pregnancies have gone up. And so we can point to the LGUs, we can also point to the DepEd, to DOH, but at the end of the day, this is a social welfare concern as well, right? Just in the same way that whether these children are products of domestic abuse or just products, well, domestic abuse meaning sexual abuse, or they are a product of possibly also domestic negligence, no? Kung ba't 13 years old nagkaganon. This is a social welfare concern, Mr. Secretary, and I don't know, maybe very briefly, is there anyone in DSWD looking into this? Are there any interventions being made? Because, and I will go straight to my point para hindi na kayo kailangan mag-connect the dots. Ako na magko-connect po. I am an advocate, as I believe our chairperson is as well, of a safe back-to-school program immediately. And being in school with the guidance of their teachers would also be a big support to parents who, for one reason or another, are unable to be present in their child's life na kung ba't nagkagano na 13, 14 years old and nagkanda buntis-buntis po. So in that sense, I am a believer that going back to school would also help address this program because may mga teachers doon, mabababad sa pag-aaral yung mga bata. So I'm just connecting the dots to help find the solution to this problem. So, but I'd also like to know from the team, the DSWD family, if there are programs ongoing to address this and what immediate interventions can we do. And then sama ko na yung next question ko para isang sagutan na lang. You will recall that it is in our law that school facilities should not be used for a prolonged period as a isolation. When we pass that law, ang nasa mind ho natin is yung evacuation centers, So now naman the term, it's not really evacuation, it's more of isolation, quarantine, and it's even being used as vaccine centers. And I understand that 1,212 schools are used as vaccination sites, and then tama ba ito na, well, I'm not sure now with the data. Maybe you can clarify that. Is this 1,212 schools used as vaccination sites and isolation centers? Or altogether, is it 6,148 classrooms? I'm not sure with the data. In any case, what is the plan? Because these are, obviously, we will, based on the plan of DepEd to open schools for the pilot project only, pilot pa lang, November 7 pa lang naman yon. So it's not as if all of these schools that you are using will be affected. But we've got to have a plan, where you ease out of the schools, and ideally, and this is also where we have been pushing DepEd and CHED, that your 2022 budget should assume face-to-face school. So ganun din naman ako sa inyo. Yung whatever programs you have in mind should be adapting to a future which is living with COVID. So I raise that again because although pwede niyong ituro na DepEd kasi yan, DOH kasi yung vaccination, eskwelahan ng DepEd yung ginagamit, but at the end of the day, if I'm not mistaken, under that law, DSWD ang lead agency doon I'll give you the RA number that prohibits schools from being used for a prolonged period of time as evacuation centers or other facilities as they are currently being used. So yun lang, Mr. Chairman, for Madam Chair, for now. If may time pa ako after, then I'll ask another question.
Yes, can you answer both the questions on teenage pregnancy as well as the evacuation centers located in schools?
Yeah. Madam Chair,
Yes,
may Director Hannah Garcido be recognized to answer on teen pregnancy policy, and Director Gemma Gabuya regarding the Balik Eskwela. for the students. And for school facilities, yes, maybe we will coordinate with the concerned other agencies relative to this opening of the classes and the not prolonged utilization of school facilities for vaccination. So may Director Hannah and Director Gemma be recognized, Madam Chair.
Yes, Director Hannah, please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Honorable Senator, for the programs for teenage mothers, initially we have a psychosocial support program for teenage parents. And in the 2021 GAA, Madam Chair, there's a special provision for the DSWD to coordinate with the POPCOM in the development of social protection programs for teenage mothers and their children. So there's an ongoing partnership po with POPCOM on this. And currently, we're doing the groundwork to ensure that this is evidence-based. Together with POPCOM, we're doing the consultation with communities to ensure po that the teenage mothers are also they are properly aware of the situation, and also they could contribute on what social protection programs could be further implemented for the teenage mothers and their children. So we will submit, ma'am, further updates on the ongoing partnership po with POPCOM. In addition po, there's also an ongoing partnership with the Philippine Commission on Women in crafting policies for teenage mothers. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, Mr. Secretary, that response alone already points to me what our problem is. Mr. Secretary, nandiyan naman po kayo, no? I'm very happy to know that you have these programs for teen mothers. And naging nanay na sila, di ano pa bang gagawin natin, di ba? At the young age of 13, 14, 15, 16, naging nanay na sila. Okay, so we have no choice but to help them. But I didn't even hear anything about how to prevent that from happening. And that's what I'm waiting to hear. What are the programs to prevent that from happening? Diba? As a compassionate society, obviously, we will address it kung nandyan na. Kung nabuntis na, di syempre, alagaan natin through the pregnancies at sa pagpapanganak and for them to be figure out how in this world that they will be a mother at the age of 14, 15, 16, right? Even at 28, I had a hard time adjusting to being a mother. What more for somebody who's 16, 17, even 18, even 19? So that answer begs the question. Salamat. And I'm very happy that we have programs to help the mothers, but that wasn't my question. My question was, how do we prevent this from happening? Abuse ba yon? Ni-rape ba yon? Wala bang magulang na nag-a-assist sa batang yon at nag-guide kaya nabuntis ng ganun kaaga? Paano yung mga lalaki nakabuntis sa kanila? Paano nangyari yon? Of course, alam natin kung paano nangyari, no? But I mean to say, what were the circumstances that led to that? Eh kung naka-quarantine sila sa bahay, di hindi dapat nangyari yun unless ang nakabuntis sa kanila kasama nila sa bahay. O kung hindi naman yun ang situation, o so paano? Because walang school, that's why nga tinay-up po sa school. So, Madam Chair, this bothers me that yun ang sagot nyo because you're already after the fact. So paano? Bahala na pag nabuntis, don't worry, alagaan namin. Yun ang sagot nyo, no? With all due respect. That's the answer that you gave me.
Any replies from the DSWD? How do we prevent teenage pregnancy, which has been cited, by the way, by the World Bank as an economic development problem? It's that bad.
You know, Madam Chair, before the Secretary answers, on the one hand, I'm very proud because SDG 3 on gender equality, the indicators show that we're not doing a bad job. In fact, we top a number of indicators, like for example, women in high-level jobs, no? Although it's not yet equal, pero mataas ang paghanga natin sa mga kababaihan who do well at jobs, in their jobs, no? Who go up the corporate ladder. And then we have a high number of girls in school. So hindi tayo bagsak dyan like in other countries. But when I hear that a percentage of our population are getting pregnant at the age of 13, 14, 15, and Mr. Chairman, I have been to to public hospitals where 15 to 16 years old, second pregnancy na nila. Second. You would think that since second na nila, napangaralan sana nung first. Diba? Pero the fact na bumalik ng second, there's really a problem. Tapos yung sagot sa akin is how to care for the mother.
Senator Pia, parang nawala yung connection. Senator Pia, we've lost. Yes, Secretary, can we try and contact Senator Pia, please? In the meantime,
Okay po, ma'am.
perhaps DSWD would like to answer. Yes, Secretary.
Yeah, Madam Chair.
No, Secretary Dina, COMSEC, maybe you can contact Senator Pia's office at na-offline yata siya.
Okay po, ma'am.
Okay. Senator Pia is cut off for some reason.
I'm back, Madam Chair. I'm back.
Great. Thank you.
I lost connection, so I'm sorry. Did the secretary reply?
Not yet. I waited for you.
Oh, thank you. So I'm back, Madam Chair. Can we hear the response?
Well done. Yeah. Okay, Secretary Bautista, please.
Madam Chair, Madam Senator, apparently, these figures or this reality on the part of the DSWD, we will look into this and rest assured, Madam Chair, Madam Senator, that as soon as possible, we will do whatever actions to ensure that this issue, this concern will be addressed and at the same time arrest the growth of the teenage pregnancy, Madam Chair, Madam Senator.
So in fact, there's an admission on the part of DSWD that there are no preventive measures being undertaken by DSWD sa teenage pregnancy. Mukhang totoo naman yun kasi parang the bulk of the issue has been with DepEd, di ba, Senator Pia, na ang DepEd ang magtuturo ng sex education at saka yung warnings against teenage pregnancy. But there again, we have a problem because the guidance counselors are clearly very, very few and often poorly trained or even poorly